Chapter 11. The week before I left, Brian and I went for a drive. Like any other night, it started out with a short gaming session. We smoked a little, he told me about his day at work. I told him about the sheriff stopping by to tell me they'd had complaints of skunky drug smells coming from my general area. We got a good laugh, but there's only so much they can do about hearsay. We talked about the irony of people so willing to take drugs peddled by pharmaceutical industries under a different label while demonizing a literal flower that could help them in more ways than one, beginning with pulling the sticks out of places they didn't belong. We had fun. Then, out of nowhere, he set down the controller and told me he wanted to take me somewhere. I agreed. Curious, I followed him to the car and hopped in, thinking nothing of it. We drove past my house and followed the road outside of my comfort zone. "Brian, where are you taking me?" I asked, finally. I could hear the tension rising in my voice. "You'll see," he replied somberly as he pulled away from the final four-way stop at the edge of town. "Hey, Cam," he continued, after a moment of radio silence passing between us. "I know you don't want to stick around here. I know you got big plans. You don't talk about it much, but you and Mad Dog," he chuckled and shook his head. "You two always used to talk about your big ideas. I know that didn't go anywhere. I know you still feel that way somewhere underneath all that other stuff." My heart started racing as he made his way down a lane I hadn't traveled since the last day I saw Maddie and Carrie alive. My breath drew shallow. My fists were balled around wads of the sweatpants beneath them. I imagined my eyes looked a bit like a deer's while staring into the light. A pure mixture of terror and confusion. "Brian, don't." It's all I could say. He reached over and patted my shoulder. "I'm here, my dude. Don't freak out. You toughed out like 2 years of hardcore rehab, and you're telling me you can't face the final touches? What's it all for if you can't get past this part? You don't have to do it by yourself." I stared straight ahead, my eyes pinned to the dark shadow of the massive cottonwood tree looming over the slowly thawing tundra. My mouth was completely dry and sticky at the same time. I gulped for air as my throat constricted. "I hate you," I whispered. It sounded raspy and choked. My nails were digging into the skin under my sweatpants, but I felt totally detached. "What's that, kid?" Brian asked. He hadn't heard me, and I didn't repeat myself. I wasn't talking to him anyway. I watched the silhouette dancing over the dark horizon, swaying closer each time I blinked, until I squeezed my eyes closed and refused to open them. "I can't do this," I breathed repeatedly. The phantoms that haunted my dreams broke through the thin layer of glass standing between our realities and swam freely around my mind. The sound of hungry flames devouring everything in their path, screams, glass shattering, gravel spraying every which way, crunching metal. I could almost feel the leather steering wheel grips in my hands. I screamed into my fingers. I hadn't realized I'd brought my hands up to my face. Hey, Cam, it's all right. Hey, you're all right, Cam. I'm right here." Brian's voice had changed. The car had come to a full stop. I heard his door open and close, and before long, mine had opened, and I felt warm arms wrapped around me. I felt myself coming back into my body. It was so strange. It was like in those moments I'd returned to the moment it had all happened. I'd left my body completely. "It's okay. I am so sorry, cuz I did not mean to freak you out. I want to help, okay?" I want you to be able to get over this place and leave it behind without any weird shit keeping you back from what you want to do. I took steady, even breaths, waging war against the chaos swimming around the outer rim of my consciousness. You're right, Brian. You're right, but I just don't think I'm ready for this. How long are you gonna wait? This shit's gonna turn you into a shut-in. This place sucks, and you don't belong here. You gotta do something, Cam. Your name sounds like something I'd see on a book cover. Stop hiding. Brian's voice was forceful and calming all at once. I squeezed into his hug a little harder, feeling more convinced because I'd just come to that same conclusion myself. It was like life speaking through both of us, directly to me. Hey, and I've never thought of you as someone who is afraid to do something, Cameron. Don't bust my illusion. That would just suck. He pulled away, smiling. Besides, I brought you my best. He pulled out his classic tin. A 50s pinup girl painted over the front, smiling back at me. I laughed through my shaky breaths. He was righter than he knew. I balled my fists on his shoulders. All right, let's do this. A rush of everything I'd been through flashed in front of me as I opened my eyes and stared down the tree in front of me. It had been the last thing I'd seen before I went unconscious. Yeah, let's do this! He jumped up. His childlike excitement fed the fire burning in my belly. I'm in charge. The thought flooded my mind, drowning out the dogs baying along the outskirts. I twisted the volume dial up. I pinned my eyes to the naked tree branches, reaching for the starless sky. I'm coming for you. The thought growled through my teeth. Brian jumped into the driver's seat. Next stop, finally driving that sick-ass pony your pop's got you. I laughed. Slow down, soldier. One step at a time. I reached up for the oh shit handle. That night was important. Something inside broke. Chains or ropes, I don't know. But it was like I could hear them snapping, and whatever was attached to the fears I was facing ran for the hills. Fear and boldness can't live in the same house. That night, I tasted fearlessness. The rush was the sweetest thing. There was no turning back. I owe a big thanks to the most unlikely of allies. So, Brian, if you're out there living your best life somewhere, thank you. You saved my life that night. I won't let you down.